Thank you. That was the Liberian national anthem, and so that's we chose to use. Welcome, Honorable Dunah, to tonight's show. And so, as we all know, this is modern technology. Sometimes we do have difficulties. Sometimes people lose connection and make efforts to come back. So if that happens, so Honorable Dunah, please bear with us. If for some reason your line drops, just try to redial the number the same, just as you did to come in the first time. Just do that, and that's perfectly understandable. It happens quite a bit, not frequently, but it does happen. So we want to acknowledge that before it even happens. So our audience is here. Actually, we've been waiting here, and so without further delay, we'll get started. And as soon as we come to the question and answer, we'll also try to inform the audience some basic rule governing that. As a senior government official for the country that we all love, you deserve nothing but our highest respect. So we will make that point clear when we come to question and answer period. But for now, I want to open up the floor to you so that you can talk to us about Liberia, about Nimba County, about District Number 7, and perhaps about Africa. So we will listen to you, and then we'll come. Our people will come with their questions later. So thank you and welcome to the floor, sir.
Thank you very much. Hello to all. I am Worlea Saywah Dunah again, representing District Number 7 in Nimba County. Formerly represented District Number 3 in the 52nd National Legislature. We are happy to be in our first communication with you, and I want to appreciate the effort of Bengali and all of you, the patience. Actually, the phone I have could not download it, and so that was the delay. But I want to thank you all for the interest in our country and for these meetings and the kind of organization that you are putting in place at various levels that is geared towards helping us to solve the problem of underdevelopment, poverty, and general backwardness that we suffer in Liberia, some of which led to the unfortunate civil crisis. I am actually from BAM. I was born and grew up in BAM on BAM Mission. My father served there, Reverend David K. Dunah, as a preacher and teacher at the mission school there, and I graduated from BAM High School. So we are quite familiar with the terrain. The challenges we face in District Number 7 today and overall Nimba is to strengthen the capacity of young people and improve the educational setting and to improve the agricultural sector, as well as creating opportunity for skill training and youth empowerment. Our rural conditions have been terrible over time. It needs attention, and we are looking at it. On the level of youth empowerment overall, we have Nimba Community College, which started classes last year, and we hope for it to continue now. The charter has already been worked out. And then at the level of the secondary schools, BAM High School has, for the past 3 years, been one of the top performers in the WAEC. We went extra mile to ensure that by personally renting apartments for teachers from Monrovia to come and lobbying at the Ministry of Education for teachers. And now with faculty being added to us, we have already have cluster meeting with the education authorities in faculty and in BAM to see what we can do. Some of our short-term plans for the schools will be the reintroduction of what we were doing in District 3, which was inter-high school tournament. And we are looking for partners and donors to help us so that we want to start with soccer for men and boys and girls. So on the education front, that's what is happening, and we are hoping too that we can be able to put another government junior high in both faculty and BAM in the years ahead. In the GOM budget that just passed, we succeeded in having money for the building of an operating theater to annex to the clinic in BAM. The first thing we did 2 years ago has been to put the BAM Health Center on the budget line. And the first project was the construction of nurses' quarter. It is ongoing. And this year the subsidy has been increased, and we have found additional money for the building of the operating room because we have a doctor assigned now in BAM. So it's a big step forward for that part. For SACIP, we have a comprehensive health center, and we have lobbied again and have increased its support from government. It's a government institution, but besides the regular government operating money, we go in there to see if we can get money which can be used for expansion and modernization work. Like last year, we were able to secure a bus that will be busing the staff around from their homes to the work in Sakai at the Comprehensive Health Center. So we are making progress. The challenges are enormous. The needs are many. And we have hundreds of our youth riding motorbike. They call them the pimping boys. And at times it leads to tension with the police and sometimes strike action because their refusal to adhere to safety rules. So those are some of the challenges. Some are ex-combatants, some are not ex-combatants. So we have that heavy pool of youth, and the only thing they are doing is motorbike riding transportation, which is not a profession. So part of my plan for this term is to see if we can have a vocational training school either in Sakaipi or Bang, and so that I can address the issue of skill building for youth, so we can train people to be masonry, carpenters, those various skills that can be easily imparted, electrician, auto mechanic. Those are things we are working on. On the side of overall peace and reconciliation, the land dispute has been a very heated issue in the area. The first presidential commission, I work on it. The second one that is still working, headed by my friend and brother Musa Ability, we are working. We got to the point where there were compromises made, and we thought to make it a win-win situation that whosoever will be withdrawing his claim will receive some monetary benefit, which will be equal to the structure that is on the spot. As we are talking, it's not easy. Some people who earlier signed a paper and agreed to take the money are now coming to refuse the money. However, overall, the land dispute resolution peace process, to me, is going fine. A lot of people have received the money. They have accepted it. At the moment, there is no tension brewing. So that is where we are heading. One of the more contentious plot of land has been the former Guinea market in Ganta. We got to realize that when this was a centerpiece, we went on an inspection. Justice Minister Lance and Mans, Internal Affairs, with the Nimba caucus people went there, and we realized that this plot is not even 2 acres. It could be at most 1 acre. And when we got to Monrovia, about 30 deeds were produced by the former Minister Donzo by people claiming that special land. So it has been a bone of contention, and we advised the President to declare it as a state property. And when it is declared as state property, let all of these be assessed. He who is the proper owner, the state will pay you off, and that place will be developed as a playground in Ganta. Because if you give it to one party, the other party is going to strike, and even if you adjudicate fairly, again, it's going to be a problem because we've gone down so many times. I've been part of all of these delegations. So that is the mandate on it, and the superintendent should be working out the details. As for Bond and Secretary, in Bond, all of the arrangements are being honored. We have had some issues in Secretary with payment as recent as just 2 weeks ago before I could travel here, and I directed the development superintendent to handle those matters. So that's where we are. Overall, on the national budget issue, we from Nimba are not feeling good with Minister Kone. If he can allocate $18.5 million for Bapolu and allocate $6 million for Nimba, we found out that we have problem with the finance minister for that. He and I are from the same party. I have raised it with him, and we think it is not fair to Nimba if smaller countries are getting such huge allotment. We should not be penalized for being productive and for being development focused. The fact that we are developed is because of our hard work and energy. So we feel what government, the Ministry of Planning and Economic Affairs should do is to keep our upward momentum going instead of trying to store our upward momentum. You can keep us growing at our own level of growth, and those who are underdeveloped, you stimulate them. But to stagnate us and to stimulate the other people, like saying, until they get to you, which is not fair. Under the Constitution, the natural resources in Article 7 should be divided evenly by 100%. Those are the issues that the Nimba caucus had with the current budget, and it was very contentious, but we're making a way forward. On the part of road construction, as you may be aware, under the 52nd legislation, we use part of the metastasis social funds to procure 22 pieces of yellow machine. We divided Nimba into 3 regions, Sakai, Piema, and Zoge, comprising 1, Tapeta and Yahweh Mesno 1, Belige and Sanipole 1. As we speak, the set for Zoge and Sakai Piema is currently working in the Wee Bay area around Kwetu, Bankway, Feeding region there. From there, we'll move to the upper part of the bay. Then by dry season, it will be heading towards the Booyah around Worlea Buto area, which is the worst road. What we are trying to do is to take care of the worst road, but we have brand new equipment and we are doing well all over the county. Work is going on. Hopefully, in the next 2-3 years, by roads condition, stopping transport should be part of history for Nimba for now. And so those are some of the things that we are doing. Our county team has been doing well in county league over time. And part of the reason is because we take some of our social fund money and put it into it, and we want to thank some of our football authorities, experts, Musa Ability, Amde Kwame, Flotuma. They have made enormous sacrifices in ensuring that Nimba succeed even before Ability ascended to the AFA chairmanship. He has been a major player in the Nimba, in the development of our sporting team, and I happen to be his direct representative too, so I'm aware of what I'm saying. And we work together on the Land Dispute Commission for 3-4 years now. So we have Nimbayans from all over working together to push unity and reconciliation. And we will want to encourage those of you in the diaspora to intensify it. I have been very much disheartened that I come to a unique event and I see the Beabli people. I don't see any B and Doru people here. I didn't see any of our Mandingo brothers here too. So they have been my disappointment, and I have discussed it with the national chairman that UNICO should go the extra mile to bring on board all Nimbayans, because the umbrella United Nimba citizens, it should be that in reality we pay our own tickets to come here so that we can tell our citizens what's happening and how they can help us. But when we come and we don't see all of them, I, for one, I don't feel good. So these are some of the challenges home and what we observe in the diaspora. So, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot talk all, but I'm happy to be here again. I will be in the United States for the next 2 weeks. At the end of the discussion, I will give you my number. You can call if you have further question or just to know each other better on a one-on-one basis. You can circulate my numbers around while I'm here. We can talk. Like Bangali and I, we talk from time to time. So, Mr. Moderator, thank you very much. I'll pass it on to you and await whatever inquiry or comment, and then I can respond.
Thank you so much. Now I understand why you were the only incumbent re-elected from 2011. That was excellent. And so, ladies and gentlemen, if you just joining us, once again, we are very privileged to have our Representative Dunah with us tonight. He represents District Number 7 in Nimba County. As you all know, BAN convention is here in Minnesota today. And BAN also happens to be within that same district, right? And so this is what a coincidence. So it's a very important event, and we have a very important guest on the line. So you heard him well. Apparently, Nimba is doing very well developmentally. And so, having listened to the Honorable Representative, we will now begin entertaining your questions. If you have any question, comment, or concern. So, if you have any concern, comment, or question, now will be the time to dial *61, and then that will register your number over here on the screen. And so we will open your line. You will make your concern, comment, or question known to the representative. So once again, question and answer period has begun. So star 61 if you have any question to ask Honorable Representative. So Honorable Dunah, while we await the audience to start sending in their requests, I know those actually I got one already. I was a lot of questions coming in there, so it won't even let me ask my own question. So we'll get started here. No name, but your number ends with 5649. Your name and where you're calling from.
Hi, my name is Chief Kamara. I'm calling from Broken Park, Minnesota. I think it's a statement slash comment. I just want to thank the Honorable for attending this talk show, and really, really appreciate the hard work of Liberians working to develop our country. But where do you foresee our country in the next 10 years, taking into account our civil war, with respect to development and other issues?
Okay, is that it, Petty?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you. So, Honorable Dunah, did you get that question, or you want me to repeat it? Oh, here, hang on here. Something just happened here. See, we lost him. He just came by. Honorable Dunah?
Yeah, I'm here.
Did you hear the question?
Well, restate it. Maybe restate it, Mr. Moderator.
Yeah, well, he first of all wants to thank you and thank all of our government officials for doing so well. You know, and then the question was, where do you see Liberia and perhaps Nimba County within the next 10 years? I hope here. I'm going to open this line. But was that the question?
Yeah, that was.
Okay, so that was the question, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, my brother. In my own view, 10 years from now, Liberia, if we are able to maintain our current line of growth, Liberia should be among one of the countries that will be claiming more attention in terms of growth and development. As we are speaking, the West Africa Power Pool, the poles are all over in Nimba, from Logwatu all the way to Sakepi, and also from Totan through Grand Giga coming to Tapeta. And Nimba should be one of the biggest beneficiaries. And you know what it means to have a regular, stable source of electricity. With Ganta being the second highest economic growth, and the center of economic activities in Liberia, second to Monrovia only, I see Nimba going far ahead in terms of development. Overall, from the national picture, our national revenue is growing. This year, our budget is around 600. It's around 600 million. It's around 600 million, and with that, if we can maintain the growth rate, when this government came in, our national budget was 89 million. So if we can maintain growth rate, our national revenue acceleration will help our development goals. Also, we have the national plan, which is the Vision 2030, which incorporates most of the plans for education facility, for road network, and if we are able to achieve those things, with the oil sector full blooming at that time, as well as mining activities like BHP, Billiton, Akitomo in Nimba, and other parts of Liberia, and then the Shannon Union. If most of these heavy investment, take Golden Verlon in the southeast, a $2 billion investment in the palm oil industry, as well as Sam Darby, if the northwest bombing Kmon area, another $1.5 billion investment in palm oil industry, and then the Shannon Union at the former Bang mines, and then the other company at the Putu Mountain. With all of these in 10 years' time, revenue growth will be high, job opportunities will be heavy, and ingrained in each of these agreements is some road network. Like, for example, Metasi should start paving from Ganta to Yikepa. At the same time, Putu Mine should be paving from Zedru to Greenville. So you will see that our roads will be opening, our economy will be accelerating, And if we are able to maintain a level of peace and stability that we have in a democratic setting, then of course our growth will be high. One of the challenges facing us is the issue of governance, the fighting of corruption. I think that so far the Anti-Corruption Commission and the Justice Ministry have not been robust enough in using to the fullest the available information that has been gathered through the various audits. So I think those are some of the letdown. Corruption remains a major factor, and we will need a more robust Anti-Corruption Commission and a Justice Ministry so that these growth will not be undermined, undercut by corruption. But overall, I see you on a very good economic growth pattern, and if we have political stability, I think we can go far.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Dunah. So, Brother Kamara, that was Honorable Dunah's response to your question. So if you have any follow-up question to that, or if that wasn't what you asked, by all means, please dial *61, and we will entertain your follow-up questions. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the forum tonight. We have a very important guest, Honorable Dunah, representative, District number 7 from Liberia, Nimba County. And may I also let you know that the conference is being recorded, so this can be a repeat broadcast of this will be available shortly after the forum itself. So we'll move on to the next question. No name, your last 4 digits, 5500, your name and where you calling from.
This is Asumana Chabate from New York. Honorable Web, and I make reference to UNICO and the involvement of the Mandingo community. I am part of UNICO, even though I'm still disappointed just as you. For not as many, we don't have many Mandingo taking part in UNICO.
I'll be on tomorrow.
But and to say that the administration and the leadership should reach out to the Mandingo community, I don't think that is something that is needed. The UNICO is open to all Nimbanians, and UNICO is not just a recent organization. The former leadership 20 years ago was more than 20 years ago. At the beginning was Mr. Kamara, who was in leadership, and he is now in Canada. He was part of the leadership. One of the past president was Mr. Mohamed Keita, very aggressive and positively aggressive. Who I'm talking now, I am a senior board member from New York. So I have been to the conference this year. I was not there because I was sick with malaria. I just came from Liberia. So I heard that I was even honored at the conference in my absence. The president of the Bar Association was secretary of the UNICO New York chapter. On the election commission was Mohamed, former president of FEMUSA, the Federation of Mandingo Association in the Liberian Mandingo Association in America. He was one of the commissioner of the past election, and he performed very well. So you find out that
hello?
Yes, hello.
Yeah. You want to wrap up? There's a lot of questions coming through. Yeah, I know the honorable representative is there. But Jabate, if you want to wrap up, we've got too many questions coming. The time is fast.
Okay, so I'm just
okay.
In conclusion, right. I'm just telling you that UNICO is open to everyone. So the Mandingo are invited. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So that was Honorable Jabate from New York. I think that was a comment, not a question. Nevertheless, if Honorable Dunah wants to make a follow-up comment to that, he's more than welcome to do so. And may I state that we have one guest on the show, and that's Honorable Dunah. And so if you have questions, we would appreciate it, whether it's comment, question, or concern, if you keep it slightly brief, so that we don't stay here all night. So we will move on to the next question. With that said, I want to thank Brother Jabate, a role model for me personally. I admire him a whole lot for his hard work. Thank you for the contribution. So moving on to the next question. Let me see. Bangali Trawale, your name, where are you calling from? I've called your name already. Where are you calling from, sir?
Thank you very much. My name is Bangali Trawale from the state of Minnesota. And as a matter of fact, Dunah is my friend. Since we last met, we have been very good friends because I believe in his philosophy. And I think he means well for not only Nimba County but Liberia. But Honorable Dunah, sometimes don't mind, or we just say Dunah, how we used to eat in this place. Dunah, you spoke well and you talk about certain issues. A lot of questions came to mind as you spoke, but I cannot go ahead to say all, so I will just speak this one or perhaps two. My basic concern has to do with the dispensation of justice in Liberia, particularly in Nimba, when you were talking about the land issues. Currently, in Ganta in particular, there have been this land issue back and forth. We talk about the portion of the contested land that being considered as eminent domain by government and so on. That's fine. But there are a couple of lands around Ganta that are being claimed by other people. And then what we gather and for fact is that when justice is ever called and justice is rendered and government action is about to take place or government want to take place, there will be a robust disruption by some elements in Ganta in their own quest as some people who take law in their hand. Case in point, I think there's a guy, Nyanfumo, I've forgotten his name. There was a lawsuit filed, and when the court, they went against him, and the court ordered the police to put an injunction on that property. On that day, this fellow rallied people around, and they stoned the police officers, and the police officers all ran away from there. Whoever he brought, whether they were ex-combatants or people. So those kind of attitudes show us that there is no justice there. People take law in their own hand, they do things. They are well, and people are sitting there looking at it. So how do we go to force ahead? How do you perceive diversity when you talk about people in Nimba County with respect to justice being handled that way, and you being member of the human rights commission, human rights something in a caucus there. So how do you address yourself to such a attitude on our people when they know justice and do their own thing in violation of human rights and justice? Please comment on that, please. Thank you.
Okay. Hello? 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 Philip.
Oh, that's why. How about Dunah? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please bear with us. We are experiencing a slight technical difficulty. The Honorable is not online right now, and I think I pre-announced that's a possibility. So hopefully he should be making his way back online to answer your questions. And if you're just joining us, welcome to the forum. We are privileged to have a very important guest tonight, Honorable Dunah from District Number 7 in Nimba County, Republic of Liberia. He spoke to us about some developmental project in Nimba. And so he's now entertaining your questions. So if you're just joining us and you have any questions, please dial *61 and that will register your concern to us, and then he will make the best effort to answer your question. As of right now, we just lost him briefly. I remember when we first got him, he wasn't home, he was driving, and usually that has the potential of dropping calls depending where you are. So Honorable Dunah is not online right now, and hopefully he's trying to call back so that we can pick up from where we left off. So please bear with us. Thank you and welcome. Oh. Please bear with us. We are waiting on our Dunah's return to the conference. He's yet to make a comeback, so I hope he'll come sooner rather than later. So good evening to you all, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the forum. We are hosting a Nimba County representative tonight on this show, and he spoke for 10-15 minutes about some of the things that are happening in Nimba County, and I think that stimulated a lot of interest. I can tell that by the volume of questions already in my queue. But it's just so unfortunate that we just lost him in the middle of our discussion. So we he just returned. So I'm gonna hook him up. I just saw his number. Dunah?
Okay, I'm back. I had a question, but then
okay, thank you. I want to apologize. That wasn't even your fault. That was a technical error from my end.
I know.
I just realized that. So I want to apologize, but I'm glad you heard the question. You're so long that I couldn't even repeat it. So I'm glad you heard it. So if you want to pick up from there.
Yeah, so, we start right from there.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Bangali. I think you're calling me on the other line again. The issue you raised is very important. The issue of mob justice and people taking into their hands law is a national issue. And in fact, in Nimba with the land issue, the same thing happens in Monrovia. So it's a bit difficult, and we're trying to handle it. But specifically in Nimba, there was a presidential moratorium on land dispute, which was advised by the committee to the president, and the president communicated with the judiciary just to facilitate the peace. So in view of that, we had thought that most property that were in dispute will accept the arbitration. So that was what we done, thinking that it will stop citizens from going to court, but it does not abrogate anybody's constitutional right. It was an agreement, an understanding that we hope our citizens will respect, but it was not a compelling order because, constitutionally that cannot be done. Albeit we realized that some citizens were not taking that and they were exercising their constitutional right. And then some of the misunderstanding have been that, hey, there have been a stay order on it. But still, that is no excuse for anybody to attack people and to attack the sheriff of the court. It's totally wrong. But it is happening today. These are some of the challenges that I even mentioned in strengthening our democracy. Rule of law is very, very central. I can't lie to you. It's very, very crucial. All need to work on it. If I tell you the report have not reached the caucus, I'll be lying to you. Even it happened once myself had to go in Sanikole, and I went on the scene with Ganta, I went on the scene with the city mayor, Dor Cooper, and at that time, Dor was not there, the scrutiny and ourselves. So these are some of the challenges, and that's why this kind of dialogue is necessary. Actually, I'm aware of court order that have been attacked in Ganta, and we have told the local authorities to deal with it. If they feel, then they allow the court order to prevail. In some instances, I remember in one instance, Senator Dolo happened to be around there, and he quieted the crowd, and the court order was effective. But it is not always so. So I won't stay and lie about it. It is not always so. Myself, I had similar situation in Bang. I had a property that I thought I had acquired it rightfully, trying to do some construction work. We found people going on radio this, that. I said, hey, I'm here for peace. You guys can go ahead and take that, just waive it. And a lot of other people on the dispute committee have waived property, like even our chairman ability. He had a family shop in Sakai PS part which was built upon by another person, and he said in the interest of peace, I waived it. So we found a way forward, my brother. I can't tell you those things are not happening. They are happening. But again, that's the Justice Ministry job. We on the Human Rights Committee, we have interaction with those ministries to strengthen the rule of law so that police can be able to effect arrest in those kind of situations. But again, even in criminal justice, you got to look at it, mob action and, the potential to escalate violence, to escalate so badly. So sometimes you can just say, hey, let the sheriff go by. Let's wait another day, and we'll see how we can do it. But it's totally wrong. Government does not condone it. The Nimba caucus is against it. So we're working with our people so that those kind of situation don't become part of our culture.
Thank you. Thank you. That was Honorable Dunah's response to our last caller who asked a question, Brother Bangali Trawale. So if you're just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, please dial *61 to express your concern, comment, and or ask question of our honorable representative. So with that said, moving on to the next question, Brother Baboli Kamara, where are you calling from, sir? And your question. Hello, Brother Baboli Kamara.
Oh yes, thank you very much.
Where are you calling from? The honorable likes to know.
From Ban San Nicolas, Nimba County. I was born in Ban and I grew up in San Nicolas. I went to Simiri. And I want to welcome the gentleman, the honorable gentleman from Zoga County District to America. And thank you very much. I was a little bit, disappointed that you couldn't attend BAM Madingo Association meeting that came to conclusion today in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
I'm really sorry. It was Bangali coming to know about it.
You see, what I want to know, we have heard so many things that are good things that's going on in San Nicolas, that they have a community college, and we are a little bit concerned about the education system in Zoga, and I don't know, you have come to America, whether you have reached out to those fellow Zogas residents in America. Some of them have gone far, they have acquired master's degrees, they are working fine, and whether you reached to them and to encourage them to go back home, and what have you done so far, that's a little bit one of my concerns, because most of them are talked to, and some of them have been making effort to contact you, and they have been very difficult to get to you, you see. And the second question I want to ask you, is concerning this particular land case issue. You continue to talk about the justice system, and most of the people that left by, during the war, they left their documents, everything behind them, but there are people still living that know very well that this family have been on this land for over 30, 40, 50 years. And people are saying, you continue to talk about document issue. People fled the city. I don't know what are you doing about that. You see, and knowing Liberia very well, I know that people can come out overnight and manufacture documents. You see, and probably maybe very young, but there are families that have been on this land there for over 50 years, and they acquired rightfully, and They lost all the documents during the war. So when I hear people talking about property issue, it worries me a lot. You see, because the property may likely go to the wrong person. You see, so if you can address yourself today, two culture, I'll be very happy. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Brother Kamara. Thank you for your contribution. The floor is all yours, Honorable.
Okay, thank you very much, my brother. Actually, I have heard about the Mandingo Association through my friend and former schoolmate, Ahaji Kromah, who is in Canada. And I told him to connect me with the organization. That was 2 years back, but it didn't go through. He himself had called concerning the plot of land in Ban. Somebody had told him that I was occupying the property, and I clarified to him, no. I was renting from a guy who built a shop there. In fact, I was renting the shop for my sister who was doing a business. In essence, my sister is the renter of the shop, but we, the Dunah family, do not own it. Upon closer investigation, the Tuazama family claimed the land, and they claimed that it has a deed. And this deed gives them 1,000 acres of land. We start in the heart of Ban and goes toward Lopero. I called Ahaji Bike and furnished the information, and I told him since his daddy was in Ban, it was good that his daddy engaged these people because when I contacted the city mayor office too, she admitted that the Tuazama were one of the few families that have deed in Ban. The Tuazama, the Kaye, the Ma, and the Vaima. You know Vaima play? That is around the police station going to the Muslim school there. So those were the few established, recognized title deeds in Ban, which records everybody know about the survey deed and all of that. The rest, people say they don't know. And what we said was, where people were living and people know, this walking is scatter everybody. It should be accepted as such. But, and so we are being enforcing it. Even properties that belong to people who escaped the war, I could name instances where these properties city assign people to live in it and maintain it. And when these people come, I tell them, hey, tell the people thank you and take your property, but don't come today and say move tomorrow. It's not in our culture. Because the fact is, if a property is lying down for 10 years uninhabited, my brother, it will not stand. So the fact that John Brown living in it, he didn't pay rent, his living in it has made the property to remain intact for you. So when you come, give him like 3 more, tell him thank you, and he move. And we've done it successfully. There were a good number of properties in Ban. Ban cases is very different from a lot of cases of Ganta and things. So that has been our own unique development in Ban. But the issue concerning the Vaiman D and the Tuazama D and the Kaye D is an issue that is hard to address. The Tuazama family historically gave most of the property to the Mandingo people. I am not from Ban, by the way. My daddy comes from a town called Worlea. So that's how the story gives him my incubation. I've got into gallery. So those are some of the challenges there, and brother. The property in question, even Justice Johnny, there is a property right on the road there that belongs to his uncle. The woman who is in there went and begged him, and he accepted. He said, okay, you be there. I will find land elsewhere and build. This thing is not even anything. So these are some of the ways it's been going about. But we, the caucus, have mandated, and we proclaimed it. We went from town to town and had meeting in Ganta, Secretary Bank, and we said wherever it can be testified to that this person father has a house here, that land is for them. You please give their property. Where the property is standing, give it to them. But where the property is not standing, and maybe it was damaged by the war, and the city has given it to other people and they have built on it, that's where the first phase I talk about today, negotiation came in, and people, a win-win situation where one party will take money and one party remain the property. In some instances, those who build there have taken the money and the property remain on it and it revert to the original owner. I can state instances in Ban like that. So that's where we are. But I was questioned the last time about the old mosque. I know the old mosque. I grew up in Ban. Right before you get to the church on the top of the hill there. Now, there is a video club there. When the issue reached me, I inquired. The Tuazama family said that it is part of their land. It's in their deed. their father only gave it to Muslims for worship purposes, but it was not sold. So since the war damaged what was there, it has reverted to them. And I can tell you between you and myself, when I went to Bang in 91, I was not in Nimba when the war came. I had just enrolled at LU in May of 1989 when the war came, so you can imagine my predicament. I managed to find my way up in the middle part of 91. When I went, that building was standing there. Over time, nobody using it. Ring and ring and ring. I had that building filled by itself. Nobody in Bang attacked that building. The portion of Bang that was destroyed in my own presence, and which I can testify to, is a Wankaye play, the Vaiman play corridor. It was damaged by at the order or no order than Martina Johnson, General Martina Johnson of the artillery, and that's happened around 95 when Banga fought, and Taylor relocated his artillery to Bang. Broad, these guys were on zinking houses, taking people those. Even your people who were living in their houses were ordered out at gunpoint, and their houses were de-roofed. That's how the entire Weimar play went. That's how a lot of structure that survived the war were damaged. I was there. I can meet the culprits. So the situation is very, very complex, to say the least, and we can work it out through more consultation. The Zoga Association here, those who have been finding it difficult to get to us, I think if you go to the Capitol Building website, you will see my email address there. If you email me, we'll communicate. I'm even part of the Nimba list. So sometimes when Zoga Association raise issue there and I see their email, I connect with them. And that's what we have been doing individually. So to say it has been difficult to contact me, I find it difficult to say because my offices are open, not only in Monrovia, but in Bang and now in Sakaipi. I run offices there since 2006 for the record. I'm the first Nimba lawmaker to open local office. All other people follow me because I opened my local office in February 2006 when I got inducted in less than 1 month. I opened a local office before any other could open office. So we have created avenue for accessibility. Notwithstanding, I will make my contacts available to the moderator. I can broadcast them, my email and my cell phones and my office staff email and cell phone. In that way, if you don't get me, you can get them and the discussion can continue.
Okay. Thank you. So to all of our callers, if you're just joining us, we have Honorable Dunah, representative for District Number 7, Nimba County, Republic of Liberia. We are very thankful that he took up time out of his busy schedule to speak to us tonight. So if you have a question, comment, or concern, please dial *61. Even if you asked a question before, if you just thought of another one, and let's say if you're not too satisfied with your question, your answer, by all means, dial *61. So moving on, we're doing well. So I'm going to take the next question here. No name, the last 4 digits, 9380. Your name and where you calling from.
Good evening, gentlemen. My name is Musa Kamara. I represent a group called Bang Mandingo Association. On behalf of my family and the whole entire Bang Mandingo Association, I give comment to Honorable Dunah. We were really looking forward to seeing you on our convention tonight. I talked to you before, and you said you have a previous engagement with UNICO. I hope the party went well. But my question is in reference to what's going on in Bang. During our convention tonight, a lot of my members raised the question and wanted for opportunity with you, but I know you was busy with UNICO. My question is in 3 parts. Number 1 question, which is the most important question, roughly about almost 2.5 months ago, a brother was savagely murdered in Bang, Alhaji Kromah, by by one young fellow. I don't know for whatever reasons. And we try to bring awareness to the entire Liberian community in America. We succeeded by this the Mandingo biggest organization here, Formosa. They put up a statement, and other organizations put up a condemning statement to that effect. Through the communication from here to Liberia, we were communicating with the township of Ban almost daily. And every time we call, we ask what the authorities have done about it, what are they anticipating. I know, sir, you're not the justice of peace. The office, not responsible for bringing things to speedy trial. But when the superintendent was here, some people from our organization had the opportunity to meet her, and they sat, especially from UNICO, they sat with her and they brought the grievances to her. Her response was that she wasn't there and she would follow up. She did follow up. She went and talked to the people in Ban. She didn't go, but she called the people in Ban, sympathizing with them. She said, and promised that her office will look into it. My question to you, sir, I heard you tonight. You gave so much inspiration. You gave so much inspiring words. What this should be done, what this should be done. The first question is that the people on Ban say you never get in touch with them. You never even call to sympathize with family. That raises some concern. And the number two question is that the fellows that got brutalized or beaten in conflict, under your jurisdiction, supposed to be, what step are you taking in breaking some bridges between the Mandingo, the Gio, and the Mana? So what are some of those things do you anticipate to do to bring people together? And if you have short steps, if you have short ideas, we here in the diaspora, especially in the Mandingo community, we want to be some sponsors of some ideas, maybe to bring the Gio, the Mano, and the Mandingo together, sit down and just talk and try to identify some problem, that brought about the war in Liberia, which we all praying and working hard not to repeat such a thing. But the Mandingos here tonight, what they told me tonight, they are very much concerned about the ball killing in Nimba, and that they want to make sure that the boy who is in jail in Sunny College is brought to justice. And according to the report from Ban, when the boy was taken to Sunny College, up to now, the government has done nothing. Nothing at all. So what can you do, sir? Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're just about to ask the question.
Yeah, just about, yeah. So what can you do, sir? What can you tell me tonight to tell my people that this case, that you will do your best, what can you tell me tonight to tell my people? These are your people, too.
Okay, thank you very much. The murder in question which you are talking about, I did make inquiry through my office, and myself, I talked with Worlea, and he and I talked on it. And I called the county attorney, and I told him he should ensure speedy trial. Even when the mother of the accused, the guy who murdered his friend, when the mother came to me to take it home, to go to San Nicolas and take it home, I'm on record. I said no. I am on the judicial committee of the House of Representatives as the second person, co-chair. If someone get an angel violently for getting this and they go and murder, they will go through the judicial process. If he's not guilty, the court will establish. But I'm not going to bring this home. Why it is true we talk about reconciliation between Mandingo
and guilt, issues of justice or criminality are of another nature in my own view. The court itself is an instrument of reconciliation and justice because it made it agrees people to see that there is a government of the day. So that was my own refusal. That was not the first instance. There was another instance that it happened between Sosogio people. And I told her again, no, we cannot be taking murder cases from court. I will never, and I've never done so because it will kind of set an ugly example that, when the other person did it anyway when they brought it home. So for me, that's my personal conviction. Taking another life is totally unacceptable, and I have never been involved in the process of bringing it home, except if the parties meet independently and go and bring it home. That one, I'm not involved, but my office will never go to that level of trying to do quote-unquote traditional justice. In my view, that's not traditional justice. So that is what has been happening. Personally, I cannot, what I can do is to talk with the county attorney to bring the issue. But then the setting of court agenda, as you all know, it does not even rest with the county attorney. It rests with the presiding judge and the sheriff of the court. So all we can do is to monitor the situation and see what is happening there in the court. But I don't want the situation to be misconstrued as it was by some in Monrovia as a geo-targeting Mandingo. The history of that whole conflict that culminated in the unfortunate death of the brother, it will appear to be situation arising out of social connections. I do not have the facts to my fingertip, but my own reports from my field office will indicate as such. And so as such, it was not as other people are trying to make it to appear in Monrovia, and I sometimes have problem with that, but that's not the question you ask. As to how speedy we can ensure a judicial hearing and disposal of the issue, I can only say one thing, that I will inquire in the county attorney office as to the status of that particular case. And that's how far I can go. Other than that, I can't go any other way. The facts will speak for themselves in court. But I can tell you, nobody in Bang will ever tell you that Worlea Dunah as at any time try to take murder case out of court. I won't do it. If people go about and murder people, let the court decide what happened, whether there was a murder, whether there was a manslaughter. When the court decides, it will be good. So that's why I stand on the issue, and I want us all to look at it in a way that it will help our own society. I think we get more at stake. Some of the discouraging things that has happened of late, which I think should claim the attention of all of us, is the eviction of a school that catered to over 400 of our students by the former honorable from the PRA, Sidiki Toure. I mean, it's not helping the community. The late Jackson G. Women was our mayor educator in our district, as many of you will know. And he built a private school. That school has now been taken over by government. We are trying to identify funding to build new campus. And if you are going to Mantley Road on your left there are 3 houses in a fence there. And while waiting for the owners to come from the wall, the city allocated them for the use of that school. And that school catered to over 400 students. Right after the elections, in the middle of the academic year, Mr. Toure, who claims to represent the owners of that property, issued an order to evict the citizens, the students. And I think it doesn't augur well for all of these beautiful things we are talking here. Being my advisory in the past pool, and at that time still in an electoral dispute, it kind of handicapped my capacity to openly talk with him on it, and I engaged the school authority emphatically. And I engaged him, according to the CEO and the school board here, he was adamant. So I don't know whether that school will be able to open, but I will appeal to all to join me in appealing to Honorable Toure that their Toure family, which today owns Aminata and Son, being out of the community of Bang where their parents make a levy and bond them, I think we owe that society a certain level of contribution. The least we can do is to allow such facility to be used for the education of our children until at which time our government, coming out of a bitter war, can be able to provide such a facility. And that is what is going on to September 10th. The status of over 400 students is hanging in limbo, and we are appealing to the Toure family. And I think these are kind of roles that your institution can begin to play. I stand to be correct. But, hello?
Yeah, we're on. You're on. Go ahead, Honorable.
Yeah, hello? But these are kind of development that gives negative signal. Don't be surprised if people start, I am not disclaiming his property right. But it will be misconstrued. Furthermore, I think we all are on an obligation for the education of the youth, be they or whatsoever tribe in Zoge. And so I have been fighting to ensure that a bill is put up. And I can assure you that in the next budget year, I will be able to identify money. But the health situation has been very peculiar. So I have used this budget process to find money for the building of operating theater, since we have a doctor assigned to Bound Health Center now. So I was already in the thick of that and had gone far with it when I was briefed of this development. And considering the number of people dying because the distance to Ganta, from the villages before they get to Bound and all of that, we have already prioritized that. So we are like begging them for a year or more so that we can be able to relocate the children. But for now, to make over 400 children not to go to school, fundamentally, it does not contribute well to our overall national objective of fighting illiteracy, a country of such huge illiteracy rate of 85%, cost development. So those are some of the issues there as well. I am not reporting anybody, but I'm just trying to tell you these kind of dialogue can help pave the way to appealing to those families. It is their property. I don't dispute it. It's their right to put anybody out for being students. I will call on the Mandingo Association of Band to get involved. Let the children go to school. They are not only Dunah children. They are citizens of Zoga.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Dunah. I want to personally thank our last caller, the last person who asked question. And I'm speaking of Musa Amara, the president from Bam Mandingo Association. As many of you know, he was our honored guest Friday on this very show. So thank you, Amara, thank you for your contribution. And by all means, if you have an objection or follow-up comment or question to Honorable Dunah's comment, by all means, please do make your request. If you start 6-1 would be your option to make a comeback. So moving on, we'll take the next question caller here. 1693, no name. 1693, your name and where you calling from, sir. Hello, 1693.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Good evening, Honorable.
How you doing, brother?
Yeah. First of all, I would like to. My name is Al Donzo. I'm calling from Minnesota, Plano.
Okay.
Yeah. First of all, I would like to thank you for representing Nimba. I just have a brief questions. My question is in regard to the land dispute that is ongoing in Nimba. I was born in Ganta, and currently I live in the United States. My fatherland has been occupied by people that did not own the land. I hear your comment with regard to the ongoing negotiations going on by the government. Do you know how soon we expect these talks to be implemented by the government so we can get our land? Do you know how soon? Do you have any timetable to that?
Okay.
Thank you.
These processes are both intricate and complex. I don't know of any timetable. The commission has done its recommendation. The local committee have met with both parties, and we were able to bring about 80 of the cases to satisfactory completion where the compromise, somebody take money and somebody takes property, was reached. But even as I said earlier, as we're going into the enforcement stage, there are few hurdles. But overall, we are sure of around 75 to 80% success rate, meaning there were almost like 10% or 15% of cases that the parties feel, one of the parties feel that they will carry to court. So we had those instances like that. So I can tell you overall, the next strategy of the government is a follow-up of the committee work by the Land Reform Commission. So those are issues that are now before the Land Reform Commission, and I cannot speak for that entity, but I will just be able to give you what we have done over the time to see if we as a county and the people can bring the issue to bear. Unfortunately, in such situation, you're already aware that you cannot bring to bear 100% rating because these are property interests and they run very deep. So that's where we are. And we will do a follow-up on it. I went on our vacation from here. I go back home. I'll take note of this concern and try to do a follow-up. But can I give you a definitive date?
Thank you, Madonna. Ladies and gentlemen, we are well over halfway through this program, so we will not keep Madonna online forever. I guess it's been a very busy weekend, busy day from convention and the rest of the stuff. So, however, we'll continue to take your questions as we make our way through the end of this program here. So, if you're just joining us, star 61, that's what you need on your phone, and that will get your request through. So, moving on, the next question comes from Brother Sekou Kenneth. Your line is open. Hello, Kenneth. Sekou Kenneth, where are you calling from and your question, sir?
Yes, sir. My name is Sekou Kenneth, calling from Minnesota. I would first of all like to thank the Honorable Representative from Nimba County. You highlight a lot of stuff in your deliberations, which I think they are very important. And my concern, I have several concerns, but I think I'm going to limit it to two. And one of the questions, somebody already asked that one, so I'm going to, pass on that and ask the second one, which has to do with tribalism in our country. We, as Mandingo, we have over time and again been victimized. We are a victim of tribalism in Liberia. Maybe some other people may be victimized, but ours is overwhelming. And most of the problem in Liberia is because of, the lack of justice system. And you being on the Judiciary Committee of the House of Representatives in Liberia, I would like for you to deliberate on whether you guys are doing anything to at least reduce the level of tribalism and the way people have been treated based on tribal line and religious line, specifically by security officers and the unlimited checkpoints in Liberia. Because checkpoints at the various borderline are necessary, but there are many checkpoints in Liberia, in the center of Liberia, are purposely built to abstract money from people, specifically people from the Mandingo tribe. I'm not being personal, but it's a fact. So I just want to know whether you guys are doing anything that will reduce those checkpoints or do anything, that will at least, treat tribalism as a hate crime in Liberia. Because most of the problem that we have in Liberia today is because of tribalism. When you see the war escalated to where it went, it's because of tribalism. So if you can deliberate on that, I would really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. The issue of tribalism, ethnicity, and regionalism, and all of these things, I think are issues of concern. They are with humanity. This is very unfortunate. Nobody actually in his right mind should be arguing over the giving of life because nobody selects where he will be born, of what tribe or what parentage. Nobody makes those selection or election. So, but it has been a perennial problem of humanity of trying to live with it or being unable to cope with those things, even up to racism. But as a national problem confronting Liberia, I think we all have to find a way forward on it. As specifically regards checkpoints, most of the checkpoints have now been removed, besides the major immigration checkpoints. And I know that the immigration checkpoints are there for checking and confirmation of nationality. In fact, Liberia is very porous because we don't have a national ID card scheme. So the means of knowing citizen is very, very difficult. We have cross-border tribes. You got a Pele tribe, you got a Manon tribe, you got a Mandi, you got a Loma, you got a, on the far Gisi side of the Mandi, you got a Vai, you got a Grebo, you got a Kran, you got a Gyo. These are language groups that cross across national frontiers in Liberia. And so it produces a unique situation for the immigration. One can arrive at an immigration checkpoint and say, hey, I speak you, therefore I'm a Liberian. I may not be able to hear one bit of English. The next thing they say is, because I'm in a refugee camp, so I don't know any English. So these are the issues that confront, hello?
Yeah, you're on. Go ahead, Robert. You're on.
These are the issues that confront law enforcement officers day to day. When we interact with them, they tell us these situations. So I don't think any entity, for that matter, especially immigration, is designed to harm any tribe, because if you check in the hierarchy of that very BI and the Bureau of Immigration, you will find even Mandingo people at the very highest level. I know for the record that my own brother from Standing College, Abate, has served as senior inspector in that ministry from 2004, 2003 to current. The senior inspector is the guy in the direct operation who controls all of those gates. They report to him, and he is the direct operation man of that entity. And I know Jabate to be a Mandingo man, so I don't want people to believe that personnel will be targeting a specific tribal group. Then will it be at the directive of Jabate, who himself is from Nimba? Then that will present a complex situation. I don't even want to go into it, but if there are violations of the entity mode of operations, if we are aware of it, we can institute investigation. I can send for the immigration chief any day, and they can come and explain to me. So if our citizens are being harassed and our citizens are being falsely accused of being aliens and therefore deprived of their rights as citizens of Liberia, if it is brought to our attention, we will take the necessary measure. And the excesses on the part of immigration or police officers, for the record, when they are known, they are routinely dealt with. I remember the case of the Ahaji, who was, the Imam, who was beaten around currently. I remember the immigration personnel involved were disrobed dishonorably, and they are facing investigation. So when they have done their internal investigation, they will be forwarded either to Justice Ministry or whatsoever for prosecution consistent with laws. But the unfortunate thing that sometimes happens to all of us is we are kind of still tied in the wartime mentality. The wartime mentality was quite justice. If this man steals, you immediately fire the person, you know. So it's like the way it happened, it should be in court the next morning, it should go on this. Sometimes we have to know, too, that the court have their own, their own, their own table or agenda or flow or schedule of cases. So except in cases of treason, we shall immediately take precedence over any other case. All other cases will be treated as any other case coming, except in the instance of high treason. which affect directly national security, then every other case on the docket is set aside for that. Other than that, if your case go, it will be docketed and will come in a sequence of its own appearance. So once we are equipped with such a fact, we'll not say the government is not doing nothing. Say, oh, send the arrested people to jail. They ain't doing nothing about it. We should all bear in mind that the judicial system has its own system of operation. And sometimes we tend to forget these basic things. So it makes us to rush to conclusion. But substantively and in conclusion, if there are cases and instances where our citizens have been deprived of their right, if you bring that to my attention, I can do my best. The immigration commander, the police commander, all these people, they work with us, and we are all part of the government. Especially so we have oversight over them. So now that we are opening a channel of communication, if those instances do happen and you refer them to us, we'll see what we can do.
Thank you, Honorable Dunah. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we have about no more than half an hour, 30 minutes left to bring this tonight's forum to a close. Welcome to our weekly debate forum conference line. We have a very important guest on tonight, Honorable Dunah, Representative District Number 7 from Nimba County. He's been with us for quite a while now, so if you're just joining us, we still have him. So please enter *61 if you have a question, comment, or concern. I'm not sure if this is a new request here. I'm just going to check with this person if you just made a second request or not. But let me check with, I believe it's Brother.
It was a mistake.
Okay. Thank you. So I'll move on to the next question then. I believe the president from Mandingo Association, as he was told, that if you have any further concern, comment, you should make a new entry. I'm sure he just did. Brother Kamara, are you on?
Yes, sir. I'm here. I'm listening to my representative.
Your line is open. Please be brief this time, sir. Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. Representative Dunah, we have just opened another forum. We have a website. If you have a pen, I'll give it to you, Mandingo.org. I just want to say you can use that to reach out to the other community. But I asked a question earlier that what now you come in America, you have met Unico. You know Unico about the problem. Unico needs to reach out to every citizen of Nimba County. I am a part of Unico. So what message are you going to take from here to the people in the Bureau have, that can unite the Gio and the Mano and the Mandingo? What kind of message are you going to give them? That's one of my biggest concerns, because that's the main thing that we will focus on today during our convention. We need to open some kind of forum, and if you go, and we want to be one of the sponsors of that forum, we need to sit people down and to talk their differences. Once we talk that, if we talk about differences, maybe we can get to past, this tribalism thing, because it's breaking Nimba. It's breaking Nimba. Whether you accept it or not, it is the biggest problem in Nimba. A couple of months ago, let's say a year ago, before the election, there was people on this show were thinking about dividing Nimba. And the Mandingo community, some Mandingo community was like, okay, why they're talking about dividing Nimba County? So when they divide, it's going to be one of the two biggest tribes, which is the Gio and the Mano. So where is that going to leave the Mandingo? And where is that going to leave the Crown? See, these are some of the issues that we see here. Now you had the opportunity to come and sit down with Unico, the biggest Nimba group. And I just wonder what differences, what kind of message that you got from Unico that you're going to tell to the people in Nimba. I just want to hear, in your own words.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think we have come as guests of Unico and Samba to attend their convention in fulfillment of diaspora outreach. We have rather brought a message for them and urged them to engage in development initiatives to help us to reconcile people and to help us in the development initiatives of government and the consolidation of the peace. As for dialogue on peace, we are on it. It's a continuous process. I am on record for consistently affirming that for me, I'm beyond tribalism. I'm not a tribalist. I have had people from all parts of Nimba to work in my office. One of my first office staff happened to be a Mandingo who was not even from Ban. And she served my office for 3 years until she moved on to central administration at the capital. And she still do come to my office and I don't have problem. I have had Manon people working for me, even when I was not representing a Manon district. So I have carried development initiative to Manon towns when I was not even representing Manon people. And that was some of the examples on which the Manon people thought to give me votes. And I was able to come over all victorious and win. So everybody in Nimba knows that Saywah Dunah is not a travelist. He's not interested in travelism. So I continue to try to impress that on people's mind that we need to put in place a new mechanism. We need to work together to build our common country and country. So those are the things. And like I said earlier, I will encourage all the organizations from Nimba and Zogel to work together. As we are speaking, the Zogel group here have been trying to put themselves together. They are even telling me to extend my ticket so I can extend their convention on October 6th in Philadelphia. I am passing the information on, though it's not my function. Is the BAM Mandingo Association aware? Is the Nimba Mandingo Association aware? Those are things that you people need to be aware of and involved. I will ask the organizing chairman, Mr. Walking tomorrow, if you people are not invited, so they can quickly tell you. So that the BAM Mandingo Association, which I believe is I know to be a smaller institution by nomenclature to that of the overall Zogel Development Organization, which is seeking 5013C status, that we all work together. And I think if our people see all of all when they say, oh, Zogel citizens, they stay out in meeting, or they're coming down, and then they see the configuration of all the ethnic groups in the district or in the country, that can enhance the process by Kromah. And this is our plea to all of you people that need to set the example for over a year. You have come in this society, you have seen as to how far they are trying to unify their diversity and how the unification of their diversity has made them to be the leading power in the world and continue to help them in maintaining that world leadership position. So those are good examples that you people can bring home. And I was even challenging you people. Even if you are supporting candidates for positions in Nimba, it should be on the basis of merit, not on the basis of who had the biggest gun in their hand during the Civil War. Those are divisive items. It should be on the basis of who can unite our people, on the basis of who people outside of Nimba can respect. Because if you say you want to produce a Nimba president tomorrow, my brother, if that candidate cannot be respected in Bon, Lufa, Bassa, he's going nowhere. Magibi is going nowhere. He's just causing noise in the corner of Nimba, and I maintain that, and I see it for free. So we need to work together better in order to achieve that goal of working as a people. Issue of ethnicity and religious differences will always be with us. These are challenges that are very ancient. The greater challenge that it poses to us is our own capacity to work together to overcome it and improve the livelihood of our people. And to work together will be the defining moment of our tenure on this stage as leader of Nimba in various capacities. So I think that's a challenge for all of us as to how we are able to navigate this difficult situation and come together and make our people to believe that we are together and work together. I think that would define our own character and will set a very fine example for our people. For me, I am not a Muslim. Everybody knows the Dunah family. We are very entrenched Christian, but it has not stopped me from contributing to the Muslim in Ban or in other part of Liberia. So that's how we proceed. So I want to know the organization better. I want us to work together. And I'll also recommend that you people link up with other organizations, the Umbrella Zobel group that is in a very, very formative stage that you all put together so that we can make progress.
Thank you, Honorable Dunah.
Mr. Moderator, it's been a long day. Actually, we left the hall 3 o'clock this morning, and I was in a town hall meeting where I answered so many questions. We spoke, my colleague and I, we engaged the Nimba community. They kept the discussion on for 3 hours. Okay. And from there, I didn't even take 5-minute rest online with you. We're going 1 hour. We can do this again. We can do this again. I'm still here up to the 20th of this month. If there are other subsequent such forum, you get my contacts. You just let me know, and I will log on. But if you can allow me, I will want to take leave from the guys and try to. Take care.
Absolutely. We are honored. We are truly honored by the fact that, in spite of all of your today's activity, you still manage to come and talk to us. And that's exactly what I've been saying throughout the show. That it's been a busy day for you, a busy weekend. You didn't even have to tell me that. That's just understandable. But interestingly, we just have one more question, and I believe this is from a very good friend, Mr. Tawale. So if we make that the last question. Ladies and gentlemen, we all heard our guest, and I think that's a fair request to make. Honorables are very busy, and when they come here, they come with a lot of stuff to do, personal stuff and government business. So it's quite understandable that it's been a hectic weekend. So we will honor that request. So I'll open up the last caller's line as soon as he makes his question, and we'll go from there. So, Brother Tawale, your line is open.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. My brother and friend, Mr. Dunah, thank you very much for showing up. I understand you are really, really exhausted. I know what you've been going through. So please allow me to just add this, my 1.5 question. I know it sounds
Okay.
You spoke earlier today about the action of Ministry of Finance. Its action to give some developmental fund to Nimba, equating Nimba to other smaller counties, which you found very unfair. And I think myself, I might be in line with you, given the size of Nimba and the population and the length of economic growth that is taking place there. But given that fact, do you foresee any invisible hand into this whole play, given the fact that we are here over time that Nimba is being negotiated to be split in half? That's the first question. And that's the number one question. And the half is, Mr. Dunah, a very successful young man, second time election winner. As a matter of fact, the only successful candidate who was able to regain his seat back in a House. All other people represented did not make it. So my little half question is, what is your secret, my brother? What did you do to level that mountain? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. For now, I don't see hidden hands. What my mind is telling me is people placed in position of national authority are making decisions contrary to what the Constitution says. They are using countyism as the basis, because even I will speak the Minister of Finance is from Bapolu. So that can explain that kind of a huge allocation to Bapolu as opposed to other needed counties like River says, the minister put absolute zero or round figure zero in the national budget for them. And that is totally unacceptable. And these complaints were carried to the president. She addressed it. I speak not only as a lawmaker, but as an executive of the Unity Party. And we told the minister this is not the Unity Party agenda. The growth and development of Liberia must be simultaneous. All countries must grow at the same time. We cannot create stagnation in other parts of Liberia. We have told the Liberian people that we will develop all of the country, not half and half. So those are issues. I think part of the problem too may have been coming new into the job, and then not only coming new into the job, but too many changes in personnel. It was like a clean sweep of the ministry. So we will expect those kind of situations where institutional memory and others were not respected, and a completely new team went in. Some of us have had problems with it from the perspective of our own experience in working with institutions. As someone who established an NGO and ran it successfully with money from UC and other American institutions, I know when you do that to an institution, you have problems. So I'm not looking at it that way. We have another opportunity coming next year, and if the minister is not able to make changes, and the Nimba caucus will be engaging the president, she has told us to wait, she will solve it, and we're giving her that courtesy. But I can tell you, my brother, if come next year, if the minister does not improve upon this, then we will tell him what we know about grassroots politics in Liberia. And we can say that to anybody for free. And as we got our own secret, well, we thank God. I think we continue to work with our people, and we think our people trust us. There's no secret. It's just that God has put it in their heart to trust us. So we continue to work with them and see where we go from there. So in conclusion, Mr. Moderator, thank you very much for the time. And I want to tell all the discussion and the people that really enjoy the forum, and we want to be on it one more time before I return to Liberia. I'll return to Liberia some middle part of this month. And so I want to thank you very much, and I want to leave you off at this time.
Thank you. Thank you so much for picking up your time once again. We will let you off. I think it's fair to say you've answered all of our questions for the most part. The only questions left unanswered were those of my own. But since I have your number, I guess I'll have to call that so you can answer some of those questions to me personally. And but if we can have this show again for the rest of your stay here, that's fine. Mm-hmm. The beauty about it is that we can do it even while you are in Liberia.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. I've been engaging other forums.
Okay. So thank you. You have a wonderful night. We will excuse you, and I'm sure the audience understands.
Thank you,
the audience and the management. Thank you. You have a good night, sir.
All right.
So,
thank you, God.
Yeah, thank you. Good night. So, ladies and gentlemen, our guest has just left us, understandably. So we just have like 9 minutes remaining to 11. 11 was the targeted time. So we still got a few minutes remaining. So if any of you out there who wants to make clarification, comment, express anything for that matter with regard to all of what we've been saying here today, by all means, you can finish up our time by 9*61. We will open up your line. So you take us to the rest of the end of time. So *61 if you have anything. Oh, wow. Brother Jabate has just made that request quickly. So I'm going to open up his line. Brother Jabate, your line is open. Welcome, sir.
Fellow Nimbanians, as well as Liberians for that matter, I don't think you need to be invited to take part in your community event and activities. The door is open. The opportunity is there for you to use that theater or that stage to present your issues with the county or the community, but to just be on the sideline and to be invited is not the best idea. We need more people to take part in UNICO. We need more people to take part in EULA. We have seen year in, year out that we're recycling the same people over and over. EULA, it will always be Sam Mohammed Kromah, Bangali Traore, and at some point I was involved. And then UNICO, it is Musa, Abraham Toure, Mohammed Keta, and, name it. But the more you are there and the more you participate, they will other people will become to know your potential and your ability to lead. You know, you cannot just get up one day and say you want to lead, you want to be this and that. Also, in reference to the overall Liberian community, the Limani, the Famusa, I think you got an opportunity. You have a leadership in place that you need to engage whenever an issue is up there. You need to pick up the phone and say, hey, President, whoever is the president, this issue is happening in Nimba. We just heard it. You don't have to take it upon yourself. You can reach it to them and then reach it to the higher authority. So reach it to all the parties involved, not just one. I would strongly advise that the issue of the educational facility that is being closed down by the Toure, we need to investigate it. We need to seek some compromise and present that matter to the Toure and say, okay, wait a minute, let's give them one semester or a year for them to move, for them to look for a place to move. We cannot take the blame all, most of the time. So my advice is this is a new Liberia. We have to be proactive. We have to be an advocate, not only for our own cause, but we can be an advocate for the overall Liberian people. So I take my hat off to those of you that have been participating, and those of you that have been proactive. It is not just about us, Madingo. It is not just about us, Madingo. What affect one tribe indirectly or at some point directly, it also affect the Madingo people. So we need to reach out there and take our seat around that round table. So that's my message to you.
Thank you, Brother Walter. Thank you. Thank you so very much. I want to thank each and every one of you, particularly to those of you who have stormed the weather, who have, stayed on this show up to the very end. We got just 4 minutes remaining, and unless someone or any one of you remaining has something else to say, but I think we've come a long way. And so I'd like to officially declare this show closed in the next minute or so, especially if none of you have anything else to say. I want to thank you so much again, once again for being here. And as you know, this is a regularly, weekly program. And so comes next week, we will have a topic for you. As of right now, we are contemplating between hosting a debate about corporal punishment, which I was scheduled today, but we had to put that off because one of our principal discussants is a member of the Bama Association, and so he's kind of busy with the convention. So that might be the topic next Sunday, or our brother in Philadelphia, Brother Mohammed Sharif, will also be talking to us about the role of the media in free society and how the Madigo community and or perhaps the Liberian community can use the media to advance our cause. So we have those 2 topics pending. None has been confirmed as of yet, but as we always do, once we know, you will know. When we know which one will be for sure, we'll be more than happy to communicate that with you. So with that said, this conference is officially closed. I will now open every telephone line. Those of you remaining, if you want to say good night or hi to your friends and so be it. So this conference is officially over.